Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly high school sports show. I'm Executive Editor Rob Toder, joined as always by Sports Editor Mike Brown. And Mike, let's go back to the game of the week in Week 8, and that was the Louisville Leopards and the Marlington Dukes, and Louisville showed its superiority with a 40-point win.
Right. Like we talked about at the beginning of the season, Rob, we thought Louisville was on a tier above everybody else in the league, and that's how it's playing out. And, boy, that certainly came to the fore against Marlington last week. Louisville just has it rolling offensively. They're looking good. The playoffs are 3 weeks away now, and they look like they're going to be a quality playoff team.
Yeah, the Leopards are in third place in Region 7 of Division 3. They have a home game that can clinch at least a share of the NBC title this week and potentially the outright title. They play host to Alliance, who has been struggling of late, scoring points, and it's hurt them in back-to-back games. And last week they lost to West Branch on the road 21-7.
Right, and Alliance has some injury problems right now. Dimitri Lott was injured last week. He played through the injury last week, but not at 100%, and he means so much to them on offense and defense. And that really, and they're such a young team, Alliance, without him. And I think that really affected them last week, and that's going to be probably a challenge for them come Friday night in Louisville Stadium too.
Yeah. Now, really, what on paper looks to be the best game of the week is between two teams that we didn't think were going to be there at the beginning of the season, and that's West Branch and Minerva. They're both 3-2 in the league.
Yep.
And with wins, they could potentially tie Marlington for second place.
Right, and they've got two dominant players on both teams. Dalton Hartshorn had 5 touchdowns last week. He's had a great season. He's the heart and soul of that Minerva team, as is Corey Snyder, the West Branch quarterback, the Review's Athlete of the Week. Helped lead them to the win over Alliance last week. So that could be a very, very entertaining game. And a lot of West Branch Minerva games, especially in Minerva, have been very high-quality games.
Should be a high-scoring game, even though the West Branch Alliance game was not very high-scoring. That Minerva Can South game was. Minerva winning 35-32. Yeah. Also in the NBC, Marlington trying to get back on the winning side of things. They're going to play host to Carrollton. That should be an entertaining game as well.
Right, and I look for the Dukes to bounce back Friday night. Again, Louisville's on a tier above everybody else, like I said. But I think Marlington and Carrollton, I think Marlington's playing at home. There's a comfort level there. I think Pinnell and the Dukes will get things rolling again. Friday night.
All right, and the other NBC games, Salem and Canton South. In the Inter-Tri-County League, Western Reserve plays host to Sebring. Yeah. Really, the Trojans' playoff chances hurt last week in a loss on the road at Wellsville. They probably don't have that playoff positioning to play for, but Western Reserve certainly does. They're in second place in Division 7. Region 23, and really would solidify, I would think, a home game in the first round with a win.
I agree.
Friday.
Once again, Andy Hake, one of the best small school coaches in Ohio. I've said it many times. It's true. He takes these teams. They have huge lines at Western Reserve. They just line up and come right at you. They always have good quarterbacks. They play the good defense. And here we are going into Week 9 again, a new season, a new group of people on that team this year. And here they are knocking at the playoff door. And I think they'll be a quality playoff team like Louisville.
Yeah. United Golden Eagles in the top tier in the ITCL went on the road last week and got a big win over Lisbon, 24-21. And they traveled to Crestview, and that should be a really entertaining game. Right now in the ITCL top tier, Springfield's at 4-1, and you've got about 4 teams right now, 5 teams with 3-2 records. So that race is wide open. And United's in 6th place in Division 5.
Right, and I think they've got a chance. If they win one of these last 2 games, I think they're going to be a playoff team too, Rob. So that would be, I believe that would be their second or third time in the playoffs in their history.
Absolutely. Over in the Portage Trail Conference, Southeast plays host to Ravenna. And that's a big rivalry game, of course. And Southeast got back on the winning trail last week with a win over Rootstown. And Waterloo's on the road. No love for the Vikings. They have to face 8-0 Mogador.
Yeah, and boy, that's a tall order for anybody. You just go and you hope you play mistake-free football and just let the chips fall as they may against a team like that.
Yeah. St. Thomas got back on the winning trail last week. They defeated Cleveland Central Catholic on the road 27-0. And their game of the year is Friday night at Villa Angela St. Joe. That game's at Euclid Stadium. And St. Tom's 7th place in Division 6 right now. A win, and they can pretty much punch their ticket to the postseason.
Right. I think they need to win one of their last 2 games. They're right on the cusp. They're kind of limping to the finish line because Anthony Meglin is playing hurt, but he still had a great game last week. They win, and the defense pitched a shutout. They won 28-0. And that's going to be a really tough game come Friday night because VA St. Joe has a good team. That'll be a game that could come down to a last possession, I think.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have previews of all the games in the Review and the Review.com this week. And we'll have live coverage of all those games on Friday night, so make sure you check the review.com for live updates throughout the evening, and we'll have coverage of all those games in Saturday's Alliance Review. And make sure you check out Gridiron Guesswork, because somebody in this room is leading now by 2 games, and that would be not Mike. So for Mike Brown, this is Rob Toder. We'll see you at the stadium on Friday night.